One thing about me, I'm gonna tell you to quit your job. But I'm no fool. I know you have bills and families and responsibilities. So that's why today I'm giving you my roadmap so that you can quit your job responsibly. Hey guys, my name's Andrea and I'm the artist and businesswoman behind Coco Michelle Illustrations. And 4 years ago, I began my journey to be able to quit my job and pursue my art side hustle full time. But similar to you, I had other going on. And it would have been completely irresponsible of me to quit my 9 to 5 without putting the proper planning and strategies in place. And within 2 years, I was able to leave my 6-figure job, and I have spent the last 2 years self-employed. So lucky for you, this roadmap has been fine-tuned and improved based off of the things that I've learned in the past 2 years. And because you can take the girl out of corporate but can't take the corporate out of the girl, I've made a downloadable PDF that you can fill out to help guide you on your journey to quit your job. And you can find that link in the description below. So let's jump right in. So the very first thing this plan requires you to have is vision, because you cannot be what you cannot see. If you are not clear on the overall objective, the end goal, if you will, your actions will lack intention and purpose behind them, which tends to have us overworking and burnt out before we've even made any real progress. You need to get specific on who you want to be so that you can map out a plan on how you can get there. For example, I knew upfront that I wanted to be an artist who made income based off of selling physical products and content creation. Saying that you just want to be an artist or own a business or be an influencer is too broad. It will not give you the clarity that you need. So you have to commit to the identity that you want to assume. And for my non-committal coconuts, let me break it down like this. You avoiding making a decision on who you want to be is just you committing to staying the same. Go ahead and play that back. And if you clicked on this video right here, something tells me that that's not really what you see for yourself. So you being wishy-washy on making this decision isn't you avoiding commitment, it's you avoiding your own potential. Oh, and for my Jack and Janes of all trades, yeah, you thought you was gonna slip right under the radar, huh? Listen, I know that you are a multifaceted force of nature. I love that about you, but you need to pick a starting point. Y'all ever seen those entertainers that have the sticks and they're spinning the plates on top of them? By the end of the show, they have like 6 or 7 plates spinning at the same time. You ever notice how they start spinning one plate at a time and wait till it's sturdy before they start spinning the next one? Yeah, imagine if they just went up there and started spinning 7 plates at once. How you think that's gonna work out for them? Yeah. So I promise you, you will be able to do all the things eventually. But right now, you need to pick a lane so we can get you about that job, okay? Thank you so much. If you need help, in the comments down below, walk me through your thought process. Where's your head at? Where are you getting stuck? I'll help you out and so we can get you clear on that vision. Now that we're crystal clear on who you want to be in the future, it's time for us to start paying attention to where you stand right now. This is the section that's gonna separate those who want this from those who think they want this. Because right now we're talking finances. I'm gonna tell you right now, you will need to make sacrifices. Unless you got too much money to handle, which in that case, give me some. But chances are, if you're watching this video, that's not the case. So you will have to make sacrifices financially. But this video is about quitting your job responsibly. So no, I'm not asking you to give up your apartment so you can use your rent money to buy art supplies and live out of your Honda Civic. That's not sustainable or smart in general. But your financial habits will heavily influence how quickly and how seamlessly you will be able to make this transition. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at how you've been spending your money for the past 6 months. Most banking websites have a way for you to be able to export this so you can look at it in Excel, which will allow you to easily categorize your expenses. Now, firstly, I want you to identify your expenses that are critical and fixed. And by fixed, I mean the amount that you spend on this does not change. You can't spend any less than you do in this category. Things that fall into here would be rents and mortgages, childcare, car payments, insurance, etc. Now I want you to identify the expenses that are critical but are not fixed, meaning that this budget can fluctuate, can be flexible, and isn't necessarily the same amount every single month. This could be food, clothing, self-care, entertainment, etc. Now in this section, I want you to take a look and identify what are the ways that you can reduce your amount that you're spending here. Now I'm not telling you to starve yourself. We don't do that over here. But do you need to get Chili's Presidente margaritas every Saturday? Maybe, but probably not, but maybe. For clothing, am I telling you to walk around with holes in your clothes? No, but do you need to have the newest, latest, greatest all the time? Probably not. Self-care. Maybe it's time for you to learn how to do your own manicure. Maybe it's time to return back to your natural hair color so you don't have to go in for touch-ups as often. do the soul searching and find the areas where you can cut back. And for the last category, I want you to find the expenses that are not critical and can be easily cut out of your budget altogether. This could be excessive subscriptions, lavish vacations, that shoe shopping habit, and these sacrifices are not permanent. The goal is for you to be able to transition into your own business and then be able to return to a certain lifestyle. But during this transition, making those sacrifices are going to only assist you in being able to support yourself. Once you have identified all of those categories, I want you to figure out what is your monthly expense rate. This is going to be the amount of money that you are bare bones. This is how much money you are spending in a month. And this will be the number that you work towards as you start to grow your business. You want to be making 50 to 75% of this monthly income through your side hustle before you quit. And you want to make that for 3 to 6 months consecutively. Now, the reason why you don't have to make 100% of that income or 100% of what you are currently making in your full-time job before you quit is because you will have more time. The expectation is with that more time, you will be able to make up the gap that you weren't able to make while you were fully employed. So yes, if you can make more than what your monthly goal is, or even make more than what you're making in your full-time job, that's beautiful. You want to make sure that you can do that for 3 to 6 months consecutively before you make any life-changing decisions, but you don't have to put the pressure of 100% right out the gate, because with that extra time, you'll be able to make even more income for your business. So now that you have that monthly target that you can work towards, it's time for us to break down what it's going to consist of for you to be able to consistently support yourself off of your side hustle. I want you to take that monthly number and I want you to divide it by 4. That will be the number that you need to earn per week as profit in your side hustle. Now, I want to be very clear that you need to be profiting this amount. So it can't just be that your business is bringing in this amount. It needs to be how much you can actually take home and use for your own lifestyle. So if your side hustle is making $2,000 a month, but you need $1,000 to be able to invest back into the business, buy your products, etc., then you're only taking home $1,000 and you can't contribute the whole $2,000 to your life. Once you have that weekly rate, I want you to then divide it by 7. This is going to be how much you need to earn per day on average to be able to hit that weekly number, which in turn will allow you to hit your monthly number. What this is doing is breaking down the massive goal of your monthly income into bite-sized, more achievable numbers. It's very overwhelming to tell yourself that you need to make thousands of dollars in a month to be able to sustain yourself. But as you break it down, you may realize you only need to make 6 to 12 sales a day to be able to achieve that monthly number. That's a lot easier for you to process and to create a plan that will get you to your number. So if you're a product-based business, you can use your average order value or your traffic and conversion to start to calculate what are the levers that you need to pull to be able to get to this big number. If you're a service-based business, you can look at it on a basis of how many clients or how many projects you need to take in a month to hit that number. Now, if you need help figuring out how to strategize, how to make these sales, I'll link this video here where I break down how to strategically earn more money in your side hustle so that you can quit your job. Now, if you are just starting your side hustle, be very aware that there is a natural ramp up period and that your business might take months, even years to ramp up to a rate where you can fully live off of it. But you have to persevere. There are a ton of people with talent, charisma, personality, and dreams. But the difference between those who make it and those who don't often comes down to endurance and strategy. So stay flexible, stay fluid, pay attention to what's going on in your demographic. All of that impacts your ability to evolve as a business owner and to stay relevant. So now you have an understanding of how much you need to earn, how to strategize to get those sales. So now we have to talk about the transition from moving from your full-time job into your side hustle. This process, the longer you can make it comfortably, the better results you're going to have. Now, when I was making my transition, I called up my dear friend Sheena, who was not my dear friend yet, but I reached out to someone who had made this transition, asked her if she had any kind of consultation calls where I sat down on a video call with her and just asked her like what was her transition like and got just real life tea so I could understand what to expect. I think a lot of the problems that we have where we get stuck on making this transition is that we need to demystify what this process looks like. It seems very overwhelming to just think about quitting your job and doing your own thing. So to hear from someone who actually made that transition and being able to process it and see that she's okay, she's thriving, made a huge difference in how I perceived this journey and made it less scary. One of the tips that she gave me was to explore options with my current job to basically transition myself out of the job without completely quitting right off the bat. So for me and my family, one of the main sacrifices that we had to make was our location. We were living just a few minutes outside of New York City. We were working in New York City, and the cost of living was very, very expensive. So we made the decision to move back to my hometown so that we could have a lower cost of living. So seeing as my job was in New York City and I was moving 2.5 hours away, I needed to have a conversation with my company. And I basically went to them and said, when my lease is up here, I will be moving. And to my surprise, they were willing to make me remote. And this was pre-pandemic, but they were willing to make me full-time remote so that I could keep my job, live 2.5 hours away, reduce my cost of living, and still be able to work on my side hustle and continue to ramp it up. A lot of times you'll be surprised as to what your company is willing to do to keep you. So you have to be willing to ask the question. And this was in 2019. So in 2022, there's already so much flexibility, and it's almost become an expectation and a standard that there needs to be remote options and that you have a lot more balance between your work life with the rest of your life. So lean on that. You are more empowered now as an employee than ever in history. So lean on that and figure out what your options are so that you can make this transition as smooth and hopefully as long as possible so that you are staying responsible and able to have as much income as possible. I want to stress that having multiple streams of income is super important during this stage. So having your side hustle generating income while also having your full-time job is going to make all the difference in this transition. If you're finding this information super helpful, definitely check me out on Instagram at Coco's Academy, where I give these kind of tips so that you can use your art business to go out there and make some money. So here are some hard lessons that I learned along the way that I want to share with you that will hopefully help give you some perspective as you start to make this transition. Avoid the all or nothing mindset. This is something that I still struggle with to this day. The same way that you feel trapped within your full-time job will easily become your reality with your side hustle if you aren't mindful of your all or nothing mentality. You can be a successful small business owner and still have a full-time job. You don't have to be one or the other. And I think that social media especially has conditioned us to think in order to be a successful small business owner, you need to be doing it full time. And that's just not the case. If you are in a place like I was where I just really needed to get out of that 9-to-5 hustle and focus on my own thing, that is okay too. But what I ended up doing was putting so much strain on my small business and saying, this has to work, this has to work, this is the only option, there's nothing else other than Coco Michelle. Well, I ended up feeling the same way about my small business that I felt about my corporate job because I was looking at it through the same lens. If at some point I need to leave Coco Michelle and go get a full-time job to be able to support my family, that is okay. That is responsible. And there's nothing to be ashamed of taking care of what you need to do. So release yourself of that pressure of like, I need to be full-time to be able to make my business legitimate. Take that pressure off of yourself, or you're going to end up being resentful of both your full-time job and your side hustle. And another thing is, a lot of the times we use our full-time job as the scapegoat for all the problems that we have in our life. Well, I'm here to tell you, when you quit and you have your side hustle as your full-time gig, a lot of those same problems are gonna pop back up because chances are it wasn't your job, it was you. It's really difficult for us to be able to reflect when we're in areas of high stress. Having negative feelings as soon as we wake up in the morning, it becomes extremely difficult to have the clarity to be able to identify what are the things that I'm doing, what are the mindsets that I have that are making this situation even worse. So when you leave that situation and you go and you have your side hustle and you're like, yes, I have the freedom, I have the flexibility, but why do I still have those same feelings? That's when you can really easily be able to take a look and say, these are things that I have to adjust with myself, and it wasn't my employer or my job that was making me feel those things. These were things that I had within me already. And the last thing that you need to keep in mind, and this is probably the most important thing of this entire video, is you have to believe that you can do it. If you don't believe in your own ability to be your own boss, you will never be able to achieve it. You cannot make this optional for yourself. It's either you're going to do it or you're not. There's no in between. Maybe you don't know exactly how you're gonna do it. Maybe you have a vision in your head, but it ends up changing along the journey. That's all okay. But you need to have an unwavering belief in yourself that you can do this. Identify who you wanna be, act like that person today. If you want to be a business owner, start acting like a business owner today. When I started Coco Michelle, I had nothing. There was no evidence anywhere in the universe that I could become who I am today. The only thing I had was belief. I had a support system, and that was all I had to go off of. But I treated Coco Michelle like a business day one. It wasn't a little hobby. It wasn't, oh, I like to draw sometimes. No, this is my business. I don't care if you come and I have 50 followers and I get 2 likes on each Instagram post. I am a business owner, and this will become something. Believe in yourself and the rest will come. You cannot be what you do not see. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you have any questions or things that you want me to clarify, definitely sound off in the comments down below. If you made it to this point in the video, leave a blue heart in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.